One of my favorite games, full of mystery and murder, Danganronpa has a large cast of characters, and you never know which one will end up guilty or slain next. During my first playthrough of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, I was immediately drawn to one of the most mysterious characters of them all, Kyoko Kirigiri. When I found out that Phat Company was making a 1/8 scale of Kyoko and saw the amazing base that was accompanying her, I knew that she was going to be one of my favorite figures this year, before she was even released. And you know what? I was right. This amazing presentation of Kyoko starts with her packaging. The box design is as grand as the figure herself, with Monokuma-shaped windows and large pics of this massive figure, all wrapped up into Kyoko's purple and black color scheme. Even with an oddly shaped window, it still does an excellent job at showing off the figure inside, where you can see that yes, assembly is required. While there is a lot more pieces to assemble than your average figure, that just means there's more to admire. With a figure this extravagant, there can be a lot to focus on, yet Phat Company did not skimp on the finer details. Taking a closer look at her sculpt, paint, and facial features, we can see the focus they put onto her while recreating such a strong character from the games. Kyoko herself has many folds and shading on her outfit, as well as gorgeous button and buckle details. Her hair is flowing and draped outward to rest against the desk to provide the right movement for such a pose. Each strand also does a wonderful job at mimicking its movement through the game. Her face is simple yet strong with her piercing gaze. If you have played the game, then you will know that Kyoko has a stoic look in her eyes that this figure captures beautifully. The details are so stunning on this figure that Kyoko can stand on her own without the lavish base. Phat Company did an equally stunning job at recreating key pieces from their school life that I didn't think I needed to create much of my own scenes for this review. We don't just get a simple wooden base to mimic the school's gymnasium floor. Instead, they have painted on the Hope's Peak Academy's logo and added splashes of blood to go with the diabolical plot of this game's story. Even drops of blood can be seen on the desk and chair. Atop the desk is also the e-handbook that serves as a database for the characters and a menu for you as the player. An element to this base that I find rather interesting though is the target. For those who played the game, you might recognize it as your cursor during the class trial portion of the game. While it doesn't fit much with the school-themed base, it's certainly part of the game and just adds another layer to this chaotic base. While there are a couple more nice details upon this base, my favorite has to be Monokuma with his evil laughing grin. How can you have such an intricate Danganronpa figure without our main antagonist? I love that they decided to put him in this pose, as I can almost hear his evil laughter in the distance. Another thing that I should talk about on this base though is that Phat Company included this clear stand to help support the weight of Kyoko and the desk that is only hanging on by a couple short pegs. While it can be a bit of a distraction, so much is going on that it's not that noticeable. And if it does really bother you, you can display her without it. On a side note, if you do need a break from all the stimulus that this figure provides, I have found that with some clever peg camouflage, that you can create a more serene scene. Because the details on this figure are so well detailed and plentiful, Kyoko can and does stand on her own, which is important when she is the main component who has to compete with such a strong base. Overall, this figure is stunning, so much so that it's easy to overlook the few flaws that this figure has. I did have some trouble attaching Kyoko herself, which led to a tiny bit of paint transfer onto the back of her leg. But once you get her in, you can't even notice, and all that extra time spent putting her together is worth it as you get to admire all of this. In the end, Phat Company does a beautiful job transferring this video game character into an eye-popping figure that will keep you mesmerized for quite a long while. I don't think I've ever talked about a base quite this much, and that's a good thing. The amount of details make this figure quite stunning and perfect for any Kyoko or Dangan Ronpa fan. Well, that's it for my review on Kyoko Kirigiri. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you really enjoyed this, then you can check out some of my past reviews if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.